Darren, it's time to make our weekly picks.
I don't want to. I'm not doing very well. But okay, I guess we have to, right?
You're not yourself when you're hungry, Darren.
Exactly.
Where's the producer? Where's the assistant? Someone get this man a Snickers.
Who's got a Snickers? It's in need.
Let's jump right in with the matchups for this week. We have the Kentucky Wildcats traveling from Lexington down to Oxford, Mississippi to face the sixth-ranked high-octane offense of the Ole Miss Rebels.
Yeah, exactly.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, definitely. This was my sure thing pick, Ole Miss, without a doubt.
The Arkansas Razorbacks face the Texas A&M Aggies in an annual battle that is played at a neutral field, AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Razorbacks are trying to put things together. Great running attack last game, a lot of ball control. A&M has been pretty good since that opening week loss against Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some close games, probably too close for Aggie fans, but still they're winning. I think, Darren, on paper, this is a pretty even matchup. Who do you like?
Yeah, and I think with it being a neutral site game, and I think the odds are the line is like 2.5. A&M's favored by 2.5, which is, I mean, that's virtually a pick 'em in today's line setting world. So I think it's a very even. And on our previous episode or our episode earlier in the week, I picked Arkansas as my upset pick, and obviously I'm going to stick with that. I think Arkansas wins this game as in an upset.
I'm conflicted here because I want to be a peacemaker. And this morning at church, I had an A&M fan talk to me and an Arkansas fan talk to me, and both of them said, "Pick our school." So, which one do I alienate? Which one do I upset over this pick?
That's a big question, man. That's
I'm going to pick the Aggies because he talked to me first, and I said I'm
There
not
you
going to
go.
pick against him this week. So I'm going to keep my word to my Arkansas fan out there, my friend out there. Don't worry, the Razorbacks. I like what's happening there with Sam Pittman, but I got the Aggies in this one. In our third game that we want to pick for this upcoming week, the Oklahoma Sooners drop down to 21 in the latest AP poll, go to the Plains to face the Auburn Tigers in a looking from the outside in, looks like a program in complete disarray right now.
Absolutely.
That Oklahoma defense sure looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the one question is the Michael Hawkins Jr. Auburn is going to have some tape on him if he is indeed the starter for this game. Does that make a difference, really? I've got Oklahoma.
Yeah, I agree completely. This is going to be an interesting test because it's their first kind of foray into an atmosphere, but I don't know what the Auburn atmosphere is really going to look like at this point. I think there's concern there in Auburn, but even with that being said, I think this is definitely an Oklahoma win.
Game 4 features the Mississippi State Bulldogs traveling down to Austin for the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas.
I was to say, what did you say last week about ULM? Well, God bless them. Well, you know what? For Mississippi State, God bless them. It's about as tough a scenario as possible. This is definitely a Texas win.
Don't give up, Mississippi State fans.
Right. That's right.
Don't give up. The second-ranked Georgia Bulldogs traveled to Tuscaloosa for a Saturday night clash against the Crimson Tide in a matchup that we are looking forward to. We had it circled on the calendar. Going to be an electric atmosphere. Once again, SEC center stage, national attention to the two most dominant programs in recent history in the SEC face-off in this early, really, game. Week 5 is pretty early in the season
it really is.
For this. What do you think, Darren?
Well, actually, I'm going to let you. Some of my points for why I'm making my pick is based on what I know you're going to say. So rather than being the spoiler, I'm going to let you make your pick first. So go right ahead.
There's very few times in my life I will say this because I love my LSU Tigers and I'm all about go Tigers. But hear me clearly. Here's my pick for this game. Roll Tide.
There's some
I
LSU
think
people are not going
I
to like
think
that.
I oh goodness, why did I do that? Does anyone have any mouthwash? I just feel dirty all of a sudden.
I need an Alka Seltzer. I need.
Oh my goodness, I got to go to confession in the
I
morning.
think you should definitely.
What was I thinking? Darren,
Uh,
friends don't let friends do things
you
like
know,
that. What?
I
You
said
just
you.
let me go right into that.
I said you were going to say some things. I had no idea that was coming. I would have just pulled the car in the ditch before I let that happen if I would have known it was coming. All right. So
Let's carry on.
knowing that you picked Alabama and you referred to Georgia as the number 3 instead of the number 2, I think this is all of the goat fuel that Kirby. I think you just created bulletin board material. I think Kirby is going to let the guys know, hey, this Brew Cherry Sports Podcast, this LSU fan, Brew. I mean, dude doesn't think you can beat Alabama and doesn't think you deserve your number 2 ranking. That's all these guys are going to need. I think Georgia pulls off the win.
My apologies to Coach Smart. It was my eyesight, not any intentional slight.
All he needs is
And
a little bit of
you,
material.
you are instigating, Darren.
There may be some truth in that.
I got some things to say about Vanderbilt.
Well, they're all true. I mean,
Oh, our game 6 for the week, South Alabama Jaguars, an incredibly high octane offense. Talking about
yeah.
offenses, boy, they put it on App State. Travels to Baton Rouge to face the 14th ranked LSU Tigers. I think they're gonna put this LSU defense to the test. And LSU defense, Blake Baker, I hope he's got his guys ready to play. I hope he
Mhm.
has the scheme, and it works. It's executed by the players, or else Garrett Nussmeier is going to have to, and the offense is going to have to put up 40 points,
Yep.
50 points. But I think LSU in the end wins this game.
Yeah, the upside is even if they end up in that scenario where the secondary that has been a concern is tested and maybe doesn't pass it the way you would want them to. The things we talked about in our earlier episode this week, our Tuesday episode, Nussmeyer can make that happen. So I think that gives you enough confidence to say either way, even if it ends up being a game that it should not be, LSU still comes out on top. This is definitely an LSU win.
Enjoy the games this week. Let us know how your picks compared with ours, and we'll see you next time. Until then, y'all take care.